If you've ever heard of bodybuilding, you've definitely come across the name Ronnie Coleman. Known as the King, he's tied with Lee Haney as the all-time record holder for most Mr. Olympia wins, a jaw-dropping 8 straight titles. But his story goes way beyond the stage. Ronnie represents pure strength, relentless perseverance, and yes, a whole lot of sacrifice. Today, we're diving into his full journey. Ever wondered what it really costs to be the best in the world? Get ready. Ronnie was born on May 13th, 1964, in Monroe, Louisiana. From the get-go, his life was defined by simplicity and struggle. Growing up in a working-class family, he had to start working young to help out at home. But that humble beginning is exactly what shaped his fighter's mentality. Do you believe where someone comes from can determine their success? Ronnie is living proof that it doesn't. Before becoming a bodybuilding legend, Ronnie took a pretty unexpected path. He graduated with an accounting degree from Grambling State University. Yep, a future 8-time Mr. Olympia, crunching numbers. But life had other plans. Instead of working in an office, he became a police officer in Arlington, Texas. Imagine that, the greatest bodybuilder of all time riding around in a patrol car. That's exactly how his story kicked off. While working the beat, Ronnie got introduced to Metroflex Gym, a hardcore Iron Paradise run by Brian Dobson. Dobson instantly spotted Ronnie's insane potential and offered him a free gym membership on one condition: compete in the Mr. Texas. And from that moment on, bodybuilding history would never be the same. But climbing to the top wasn't a walk in the park. In his early years, Ronnie competed but couldn't quite beat the big names of the time. His genetics were out of this world, sure, but his physique still needed fine-tuning. Still, he kept grinding, training with a level of intensity most people couldn't even imagine. That legendary catchphrase, "Ya buddy," it was born during those brutal workouts. Through sheer effort, grit, and a work ethic that felt almost superhuman, Ronnie began to rise. Then in 1998 came the game changer, his very first Mr. Olympia title. From that moment, nobody could knock him off the throne for 8 straight years. In this video, we'll walk through Ronnie's entire journey, from his humble beginnings to the peak of his career and the harsh physical toll it all took. Get ready for an inspiring story, but also one that makes you think. How far would you go for glory? We're about to find out. And you, how far would you go to chase a dream? Ronnie Coleman's story begins in Monroe, Louisiana, born on May 13th, 1964. He came from a modest family where money was tight and opportunities were even rarer. Growing up in a small southern town wasn't easy, especially for someone from humble beginnings. But Ronnie learned early on that if he wanted to change his life, he'd have to fight for it. As a kid, he had to work to help support his family. From odd jobs to side gigs, Ronnie slowly developed what would become his trademark: discipline. Long before he ever thought about bodybuilding, he already understood the value of showing up and putting in the work every single day. Despite the financial struggles, Ronnie was always a good student. He took school seriously and stood out in his classes. But where he really shined was outside the classroom. Sports became his escape from life's hardships. In high school, he played in several different sports, showing talent and dedication in everything he did. Out of all of them, Ronnie had a soft spot for track and field. He excelled in sprinting and strength events, with a physique that was way above average for his age. He also started getting into weightlifting, though at the time, he had no idea where that would take him. Did you ever play sports in school? Remember that feeling of pushing your limits and surprising yourself? That athletic foundation would be key for what came next. Ronnie wasn't just strong, he was explosive, fast, and genetically gifted. But even more than that, he had a crazy work ethic. While others complained about how hard things were, he just kept moving forward day after day. Even with all the responsibilities at home, Ronnie managed to land a scholarship to study accounting at Grambling State University. There, he kept impressing people, playing college football as a linebacker. Just picture that. Ronnie Coleman, the king of bodybuilding, knocking people down on the football field. Hard to imagine, right? That phase of his youth was crucial in shaping the champion he'd become. The mix of hard work, discipline, and raw talent laid the foundation for a true king. Little did he know that humble kid from Monroe was on his way to becoming a global bodybuilding legend. Even with his love for sports, Ronnie never slacked off on his studies. After finishing high school, he earned a scholarship to study accounting at Grambling State, a historically black university. Most people figured he'd follow a business career, but life had other plans. Despite having a degree, Ronnie struggled to break into the job market. A lack of opportunities, racial prejudice, and fierce competition made it nearly impossible to find work in accounting. Those were tough times, but giving up wasn't in his DNA. He took on whatever honest work he could find just to make ends meet. Before joining the police force, Ronnie worked in pizza joints and fast food chains. He spent long hours delivering orders and serving customers. It wasn't glamorous, but paid the bills. That chapter taught him a lesson he carried for life. There's dignity in every job, and hard work is always worth it, no matter the position. His big break came when an opening popped up at the Arlington Police Department in Texas. Ronnie applied, passed the entrance exam, and started a whole new chapter. Being a cop was a perfect fit for him. It demanded discipline, courage, and serious physical strength. Who would have thought that pizza delivery guy would end up wearing a badge? On the force, Ronnie quickly made a name for himself. His work ethic, respect for his fellow officers, and raw strength didn't go unnoticed. Early on, he was even named Rookie of the Year. Even with a promising future in law enforcement, Ronnie had no clue just how far he could really go. Life as a cop wasn't easy. Ronnie worked long shifts, often dealing with dangerous situations. But through it all, he stayed committed and focused. That experience only made his already tough mindset even stronger, something that would later be essential when he stepped onto the bodybuilding stage. Have you ever had a tough job that, despite being challenging, taught you life lessons you'll never forget? Ronnie's academic and professional path shows that success doesn't always follow a straight line. He could have quit after hitting so many dead ends, but instead, he kept pushing forward one step at a time. And it was that relentless persistence that eventually led him to his true calling. But the real turning point in Ronnie Coleman's life came out of nowhere. While working as a police officer, he used to hit up Metroflex Gym, a hardcore, no-frills gym in Arlington, Texas. That's where he crossed paths with Brian Dobson, the gym owner and a bodybuilder himself. Dobson saw something in Ronnie that even Ronnie hadn't noticed yet: insane potential for bodybuilding. Dobson made a bold offer: lifetime free training in exchange for Ronnie competing in Mr. Texas. For Ronnie, it was just another challenge. For Dobson, it was the chance to polish a diamond in the rough. That invitation was the first step in turning an ordinary cop into a bodybuilding legend. Under Dobson's wing, Ronnie threw himself in a bodybuilding training like never before. Metroflex wasn't your typical shiny gym. It was raw, gritty, and perfect for anyone serious about getting strong. In that rugged environment, Ronnie started building the insane strength and physique that would make him famous. His dedication was all in. Ronnie balanced long police shifts with brutal training sessions at Metroflex. Exhausted or not, he never complained. This is when his legendary catchphrases were born: "Yep, buddy," and "lightweight, baby." Phrases that became iconic in the fitness world. Which one's your favorite? Drop in the comments. Not long after, Dobson got Ronnie ready for his first official competition, Mr. Texas. Even as a rookie, Ronnie shocked everyone with his incredible physique, winning the novice division and even beating out veteran competitors. From that moment on, there was no turning back. Can you imagine trying something for the first time and winning right away? That first victory was a game changer. Ronnie realized he had a natural gift for bodybuilding, but more importantly, he discovered a new passion: the stage, the challenges, the daily grind. It all fit his personality perfectly. From there, Ronnie kept competing and evolving, always sticking with Dobson and the Metroflex gym crew. That simple, no-luxury gym became the birthplace of one of the sport's biggest icons. Crazy to think it all started with a free gym membership offer, right? Sometimes the biggest opportunities show up disguised as challenges. After those first few competitions, Ronnie decided to aim higher and entered the Mr. Olympia, the most prestigious title in bodybuilding. But early on, things didn't go so well. For the first few years, Ronnie wasn't even considered a threat to the big names. Sure, he was strong, but his physique still lacked the polish and detail needed to compete at that level. Still, Ronnie never gave up. Year after year, he came back bigger, better, and hungrier for that win. He trained like a man possessed, pushing his limits to near inhuman levels. While others looked for shortcuts, Ronnie doubled down on the basics, just done with insane intensity. The real breakthrough came in 1998, when Ronnie shocked the entire bodybuilding world by defeating Flex Wheeler, one of the heavy favorites, to claim his first Mr. Olympia title. Nobody saw it coming. He went from underdog to absolute beast on stage. From that moment on, bodybuilding would never be the same. Between 1998 and 2005, Ronnie was simply untouchable. For 8 straight years, he dominated the Mr. Olympia, completely owning the sport. His sheer size, muscle density, and symmetry blew away both the judges and the crowd. That's when he earned the nickname The King. Each year, Ronnie came back even more massive, smashing records and pushing his limits further. In 2003, he hit his peak, stepping on stage at a staggering 297 pounds, about 135 kilograms of pure muscle, an insane feat for that era. That freakish size, combined with razor-sharp conditioning, became the gold standard in bodybuilding. So, what do you think? Was the 1998 Ronnie more impressive, or was the 2003 monster version unbeatable? Let me know in the comments. But it wasn't just his physique that people loved. Ronnie was charismatic, humble, and deeply respected behind the scenes. Even as the best in the world, he never lost his down-to-earth nature. Maybe that's why, to this day, fans still adore him. Do you think humility is what keeps the greats on top? Ronnie Coleman proved you can be a giant on stage and still have a heart of gold. This era of total dominance cemented Ronnie's place among the greatest athletes of all time. 8 consecutive titles, a massive fan base, and an influence that reached far beyond bodybuilding. But like every great journey, success comes at a price. If there's one word that defines Ronnie Coleman, it's perseverance. Even after reaching the top, he never got complacent. His brutal work ethic was almost superhuman. While other pros eased up in the off-season, Ronnie kept lifting ridiculous weights. It wasn't rare to see him squatting over 800 pounds, about 360 kilograms, or deadlifting close to 650 pounds, around 295 kilograms. Absolute madness. Ronnie's mindset was on another level. He treated every workout like a personal battle, a challenge to crush his own limits. Doctors, coaches, friends, they all warned him about the risks. But to Ronnie, pain was just part of the path to glory. That mindset was forged way back in his childhood. Growing up with little money, working humble jobs, and grinding through tough police shifts built his unbreakable mentality. Ronnie learned early that nothing comes easy, and if you want to be the best, you've got to pay the price. And in the gym, he lived by that rule every single day. Even with constant pain, Ronnie never slowed down. Back injuries, hip problems, knee issues, he just pushed through all. He used to say, pain is weakness leaving the body. Extreme? For sure. But that's what took him to the very top of the sport. With every rep, Ronnie showed the world what true discipline means. It wasn't just raw talent. It was sweat, sacrifice, and insane resilience. His iconic phrase, lightweight, baby, became the symbol of his mindset. The weight doesn't matter. Your mind is in charge. But this relentless training style came with a price. Ronnie's body started to break down under the insane loads he was lifting. Still, he never complained. His motto was simple: if I make it home alive after my workout, I'm good. A harsh outlook, but one that reflected his commitment to excellence. Ronnie's story teaches us that limits are more mental than physical. His unshakable mindset was the key to becoming the king. But there's a fine line between pushing beyond your limits and heading towards self-destruction. Behind the trophies and the superhero image, Ronnie's body started paying for the years of extreme training. Over his career, he racked up a series of serious injuries, especially in his spine. Herniated discs, compressed nerves, severe nerve damage. It became a constant battle. Ever wondered how much the human body can take before it starts waving the red flag? Even with scary diagnoses, Ronnie ignored the doctor's advice. For him, pain was just another obstacle to overcome. Medical teams urged him to cut back on the heavy lifting, but he kept squatting with insane weights like it was just another day at the office. Over the years, the toll of Ronnie's injuries became more and more obvious. He started losing mobility, dealing with constant pain, and struggling with simple, everyday movements. Still, he kept training, showing up, and competing with the same unstoppable drive. Then, in 2006, the unthinkable happened. Ronnie lost his Mr. Olympia title to Jay Cutler. After 8 years of absolute dominance, his body just couldn't keep up anymore. That loss was a turning point, a clear sign that his era was coming to an end. The following year, in 2007, Ronnie gave it one last shot, but finished in 4th place. His performance was still impressive, but not quite up to the King standard. It was clear his time on stage was winding down. After that competition, Ronnie officially retired. But his physical decline didn't erase his legacy. If anything, it earned him even more respect. People started admiring not just the athlete, but the man behind the muscles. His honesty about the pain and the consequences touched fans all over the world. Retirement wasn't the end of Ronnie's story. It was just the start of a new battle, dealing with the aftermath of a life spent pushing his body to the extreme. After leaving the stage, Ronnie didn't fade into the background. On the contrary, he used his fame wisely. One of his first big moves was producing documentaries about his career and brutal training routines. Films like Ronnie Coleman, the King, gave the world a raw look at his journey, the pain, the surgeries, and his unbreakable mindset. Have you ever watched one of Ronnie's documentaries? If not, you should definitely check them out. These films weren't just gym highlight reels. They told the real story behind the giant, the price of chasing perfection. That vulnerability made fans love him even more, seeing him as not just a legend, but as a human being. On top of that, Ronnie became an entrepreneur, launching his own supplement brand, the Ronnie Coleman Signature Series. With his name already huge in the fitness world, the brand quickly became a global success. His philosophy was simple: create top-quality products for people who train hard, just like he did. The company's success didn't happen by chance. Ronnie went all in on marketing, fitness expos, and building a strong online presence. He personally attended events, took photos with fans, and kept that close connection with his audience. Even off the competition stage, he remained a living legend. What started with just 2 products grew into a lineup of over 20 supplements and training accessories. From protein powders to pre-workouts, vitamins, and gear, the brand kept expanding. Year after year, the company's revenue kept climbing, making Ronnie a success story in business, too. Despite his physical limitations, Ronnie stays active as an entrepreneur and influencer. He shares his daily life on social media, keeps inspiring new generations, and proves that life after competitive sports can be just as productive, maybe even more. What's truly amazing is that Ronnie never lost his essence. He's still humble, approachable, and as passionate as ever. His journey shows that real victory goes far beyond trophies. It's about staying relevant, authentic, and inspiring no matter what. Ronnie Coleman's legendary career brought him incredible victories, but also devastating physical consequences. Over the years, he's undergone at least 8 spine surgeries and 2 hip replacements. These procedures were necessary to fix the damage caused by years of extreme lifting and accumulated injuries. The most serious problems Ronnie faced centered around his spinal discs, which got compressed and damaged over the course of his career. On top of that, he had to get screws and metal rods implanted to stabilize his spine. The most shocking and honestly terrifying part is that some of those screws actually broke the surrounding bone, forcing him into even more surgeries. Even after all those operations, Ronnie still deals with intense chronic pain. Simple movements, like getting out of bed or walking short distances, have become daily challenges. And yet, He keeps his trademark sense of humor and positive attitude, inspiring millions with his resilience. Since 2020, Ronnie hasn't been able to walk unassisted. He now uses crutches and, in tougher situations, a wheelchair. But he doesn't see himself as a victim. He faces his limitations with a realistic mindset, but never loses his smile. That attitude is a true masterclass in perseverance. Doctors say a full recovery for Ronnie is uncertain. The severity of his injuries and his long history of surgeries make a complete comeback pretty unlikely. Still, he keeps going, doing physical therapy and treatments to improve his quality of life. Despite his physical limitations, Ronnie stays active on social media, attends events, and keeps his supplement brand growing. His ability to reinvent himself in the face of adversity is nothing short of inspiring. He's become a global symbol of resilience. Ronnie's story teaches us a valuable lesson. Every choice comes with a price. He reached the absolute peak of bodybuilding glory, but also bears the scars of that journey. And yet, not once has he expressed regret. Even after so many surgeries and physical setbacks, Ronnie never gave up on lifting. Every single day, without fail, he still gets up at 4 a.m. to train at his old stomping grounds, Metroflex Gym. Whether he's on crutches or in a wheelchair, he finds a way to get it done. That daily routine shows that his love for bodybuilding goes way beyond competition. Could you keep that level of discipline with no trophies on the line? For Ronnie, training isn't just physical, it's mental. He's no longer lifting the insane weights he used to, but he keeps pushing his limits within his current abilities. That persistence is what keeps his mind sharp and his spirit alive. His example is a reminder that a true legacy isn't measured by trophies alone. Sure, his 8 Mr. Olympia titles are historic, but what really stands out is his resilience, humility, and unshakable passion for the sport. He inspires athletes and fans everywhere to never give up. Ronnie refuses to be seen as a victim. He turns pain into motivation and physical limitations into personal challenges. His message today is clear. It's possible to keep moving forward with dignity and purpose, even when your body says otherwise. Have you ever thought about how you want to be remembered? Ronnie is building a legacy that goes way beyond the stage. The love from his fans is proof that his story has touched millions of lives. At events, online, and in interviews, Ronnie constantly receives messages of admiration and support. He represents more than just bodybuilding. He embodies the spirit of never giving up. Beyond the sport, Ronnie teaches timeless values like discipline, humility, and gratitude. He never forgets where he came from and always acknowledges the people who helped him along the way. That's something you don't see often in today's athletes. Ronnie Coleman is, without a doubt, a living legend. His body may have taken a beating, but his mind remains undefeated. His story challenges all of us to rethink what it really means to be the best. It's not just about winning, it's about inspiring others. So, did you enjoy diving into the full story of Ronnie Coleman? If this video inspired you in any way, hit that like button down below. It really helps the channel grow. And while you're at it, subscribe so you don't miss more incredible stories of perseverance in the world of bodybuilding. Now I want to hear from you. What part of Ronnie's journey impressed you the most? Was it his championship reign, his unstoppable mindset, or the way he deals with the aftermath today? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read them. And if you enjoy stories about legendary athletes, make sure to check out the video linked right here in the card. I guarantee it'll surprise you. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, yep buddy, lightweight baby. See you in the next video.